Hello Gunners, happy Friday, welcome back to the Arsenal Bloodline. I'm Elts with a very brief video. Just want to touch on a little bit of breaking news from Sami Mokbel, who is a pretty reputable ITK. Breaking the news that Jurrien Timber and Arsenal are in talks, very early stages of contract talks, and all parties are looking pretty much like they're on the same page and certainly want to get that deal or a new contract extension for Jurrien Timber finalised, which for me is fantastic news. But the overall crux of this video, as well as just mentioning that little piece there, which of course is absolutely fantastic news, is just to touch a little bit on Jurrien Timber as a player and what he's become at Arsenal. And for me, he's become one of my favourite players, if not my favourite player. Actually, no, I can't say he's my favourite player because there is still Bukayo Saka, and I'm like the big brother that Bukayo Saka doesn't know he has. Like, I love Bukayo Saka, but Jurrien Timber for me is he's a close second, man. Like, the guy's an absolute beast. I'm just so happy that we've got him at the club. Like, he puts a smile on my face whenever I see him out there on the pitch playing for Arsenal, because he's such a phenomenal football player. I personally think he's the best right back in the Premier League, and I think there's definitely a shout that he is the best right back. Who's better than Jurrien Timber in his position? I know some people might say Reece James. Reece James can't stay fit for more than 2 months. Let's be honest about it. I see a lot of Chelsea fans will make the point about the trophies that he's won, but it's a complete moot point because the trophies that you've won doesn't then qualify you as being a player above a quality of a player that hasn't won as much. In terms of being decorated, of course it does, but in terms of the actual quality, it doesn't. It's not a metric on how many trophies you've won against a guy that hasn't won as many trophies. It's a silly argument. Although Reece James is a fantastic right back, don't get me wrong. This Hakimi is the other obvious candidate, but outside of them two, who are you really considering to be better than Jurrien Timber? For me, Jurrien Timber's the best, but then there's clearly Arsenal bias there. I just think, in terms of what he brings to the team, I just think he's absolutely incredible. And I've been a supporter over the last sort of couple of years that have questioned how many world-class, like genuine world-class players do we actually have? And maybe there's a space for a video about this. How many of Arsenal's, first team 11 or even just squad members overall, how many of our players are actual world-class quality? There's the likes of Declan Rice, who would come into that conversation. There's Bukayo Saka, who I mentioned at the start of the video. There's, of course, William Saliba. There's Gabriel. And now, over the last 12 months, I'd say David Raya certainly comes into that conversation as well. Martin Odegaard, 2 seasons ago, was definitely in that conversation. Maybe some might say that he still is. There are candidates, but how many of them are truly, actually world-class? For me, if I was to pick a candidate out of Arsenal's squad, it would be Jurrien Timber. It really would. Another one of my guys, like my absolute guys, my doggy, is Benjamin White. And when Jurrien came, it was all like, it's a great battle between them two. Or, it's great to have both of them. And don't get me wrong, it is. But I don't really think it's a competition anymore. I think Benny is a backup for Jurrien Timber. That is how good Jurrien Timber is. And I rate Benjamin White highly. But Jurrien Timber for me is a different level. The strength that he has in possession, on the ball, very hard to get off the ball. I'm yet to see in the 3 years he's been at Arsenal, or 2 years he's been at Arsenal. I think it's his 3rd season now, isn't it? So in the 2.5 years he's been at Arsenal, I've yet to see him make a major error. I can't think, anyone that can think of one, let me know. I don't remember him making a mistake. I don't remember seeing anyone go past him. His technical levels is insane. When he's on the ball, his feet are fantastic. He's got great feet for a fullback. Some might say that the sort of one smudge on his array of quality is maybe his ability to go forward, but I think that's a bit of a faux pas. I think going forward, I think he's absolutely fantastic if he wants to be. I think he's so defensively minded that he kind of holds back because he's so responsible, not because he doesn't have the capability of attacking. We've seen him go forward. We've seen him take people on beaten, even as recently as last week against Newcastle. We saw what he done to Joe Linton and Gyökeres on the right-hand side. He twisted them up, made one man buckle, made the next man do the splits. He's got that in him. He's got a good delivery. He knows what he's doing. He's got the know-how. And that's always so important to me. I think he is absolutely top first class A grade quality that we have there at right back. And I think the potential is for him to get even better. I forget his age. I think he might be 24, 25. His best years are ahead of him. He's already this good. And the same could be said of so many of our players in the squad. And it's really pleasing. You know, it really, really is. I'm a massive fan of Jurrien. And to hear that, you know, there's talks underway of all, you know, at an early stage, it's a massive moment, and it's something that we need to get done. Because, you know, I couldn't stomach watching Jurrien Timber play for any other club other than Arsenal. He's an Arsenal man. He's got his head screwed on as well, you know. He's not to be messed with. Remember, one of my favourite moments of Jurrien was, I wasn't even watching the game at the time. I remember I was in Lisbon. But watching back on the highlights, the game against Spurs last season at their ground, where Vicario tried to bully him and he just fisted him up like this, like, not me, I'm not the guy to put your hands on. I love that about him, but he's humble with it as well, you know. Just a fantastic player, and it's really, really good news that the club are doing, are beginning the process of getting him on a new and improved contract, because I can't think of too many other players other than Saliba and Saka. Well, Saka hasn't signed his contract yet, but I'm sure that's imminent. I can't think of too many other players that deserve a pay rise, that deserve the acknowledgement more than Jurrien Timber. So it's absolutely fantastic news. It really, really is. Big up Jurrien Timber, man. Seriously, a beast of a player, and we're very privileged to have him. But anyway, that's enough of the Jurrien Timber glazing. Just another sort of quick brief look into the game tomorrow. I'm confident that we're going to get a 2-0 win. I said it on the Gun in the Head show yesterday. Guys, if you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. The Gun in the Head show, me and Jules, just breaking down the West Ham game in full. But just a quick addition on top of what we spoke about yesterday. I expect us to beat West Ham, and I expect in the end the scoreline will look comfortable. But I'm expecting not really a comfortable game in terms of how it pans out. I think we're going to have to bide our time. I think West Ham will prove to be a tough nut to crack. I think they're going to come completely prepared to have 2 brick walls in front of us. So I think we might have to be patient. The best thing that could happen, of course, is for us to score early. That is what I hope for. Yeah, I'm expecting a very, very tough game tomorrow for sure. But the win is vital. And we're about to go into a run of games at Arsenal that are winnable. With all due respect to the teams, you know, we've got West Ham tomorrow. I do expect us to beat them, although I do think they will come, you know, with the two rows of 4 to make it as hard as possible. But then we play Crystal Palace as well. I think we played Burnley in that time. I think Fulham away as well is in there. These are all winnable games, and it's an opportunity for us to do that whilst Liverpool and Man City have some real questionable games there, some tough fixtures. You know, it feels like the tide has now turned to where we can maybe go into a bit of a run where, you know, the season didn't, you know, the fixtures didn't exactly favour us at the start of the season. Some very tough fixtures, you know, to think that we've played Man United away at Old Trafford, Liverpool at Anfield, Newcastle at St James's Park, and played Man City as well. It's been a very, very tough start, and we've actually navigated through those games very, very well. So credit to the team, credit to Mikel Arteta. And now we go into a run of games that we're expected to get wins from. You know, how are we going to fare in that scenario? Time will tell. But I'm confident of the win tomorrow, and I'm confident that we can go on a run. And it's vitally important tomorrow, particularly that we get those 3 points, and then, you know, then it's over to Liverpool and see what they can do. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to just glaze over on Jurrien Timber, a player that I don't think gets as much of his flowers as he ought to. Generally speaking, outside of Arsenal, I don't think people maybe understand that in Jurrien Timber, we have got an absolutely phenomenal right back and a brilliant player generally as well. So just want to talk about that. Great news that their contract talks are under the way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing much and many more years of Jurrien in an Arsenal shirt for sure. But guys, thanks for watching. That is Elts. Just a brief update about Jurrien Timber and a quick brief look into tomorrow's game against West Ham. Leave any comments below. Who do you think is the best right back in the world? Who do you think is the best right back in the Prem? If not Jurrien Timber, tell me who is better than Jurrien. I'll be very interested to know that for sure, guys. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm Elts, and I'll catch you on the other side. Peace.